Welcome back to the channel, squad. Today we're diving into the world of filming airsoft content, and if that's something you're interested in, then stick around. I think I've got some cool stuff for you. I'm going to start off this video by showing off my gear, what I use to film my gameplay, and if you enjoy that kind of stuff, at the end of the video I do have a list of cameras that you could buy for under $500 to get you started filming like a pro. I've watched a lot of airsoft content. I've been down for a while with a messed up radial nerve, so I've had a lot of time to just watch content. And I was like, you know what? Just breaking down what all the professionals are using to film their stuff, and I kind of put together a list of the camera equipment that you could use to start filming like a pro, essentially. I mean, kind of the same style. So let's dive into what I'm using first. So first up, I've got my GoPro 8 Black. Love this camera. I've been using it for a few years now. This one's primarily mounted to my helmet, either my bump helmet or my paintball mask, which, give me a sec, I will show you how I'm doing that. So this is usually my POV type setup, so obviously it's going to be anywhere I look, this camera is going to be looking. So I've got an HK Army mount right there on top of my goggles, so that gives me the ability to run the camera up there. But you might be one of the milsim guys and you like running bump helmet, fast helmet, something like that. So Brain Exploder makes this NVG mount that you can just throw right on your helmet. Bam, you've got your GoPro. I actually really like the footage from the bump helmet and GoPro combination because you can put this upside down just like this. It's a little bit closer to the gun, so the footage just looks really clean. So something else the pros will do, they will have a camera looking back at them. When I say pros, I'm talking about some of the really big influencers, Silo, Kicking Mustang, stuff like that. So they will have a mount like this mounted to the rail on their gun, and they'll actually have a camera facing back at them. So hypothetically, we'll take this GoPro 8, mount it on the gun looking at us. Now, this comes in handy when we're doing transitions. Maybe the footage you've got is getting really boring and you want to bounce back and forth between firefights and stuff like that, and you want to have that continuity with the video. You don't want it to be like jump from one firefight to the next firefight. You can kind of like throw some movement around. So basically what you do is in your editing software, which I'll do a video on that later, you can jump from A camera to B camera or to your Runcam, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, but you can jump back and forth between those to fill up space and give your storyline that continuity so it kind of like flows. You can also do voiceover to help with that, but having those two camera angles are really helpful. Now the third camera angle and the third camera I use would be a scope cam right here. This is the 1080p. This is their mid-range model, so this obviously is mounted to your gun, rifle or pistol, whatever you want to do, or shotgun, basically whatever you want to do. This works great for medium engagements, but even for longer range shots, this has worked awesome. So with this, I'm usually shooting in like 60 frames a second. With that, you can slow down the footage, and it just makes for smoother slow motion shots. So usually it doesn't sync up well in my timeline. However, you get that smooth slow motion, which I really like. So I run this on my gun. So those three together are what I'm using. So A camera facing this way, B camera facing back towards me, and then the run cam just really stitches together a really nice visual viewing experience for your viewers. So, you know, as I'm walking, got that A camera and I'm talking to people or looking at, you know, basically going through a building or whatever we're doing. And then it's really boring from there till you get to an engagement. So maybe for 3 seconds, you can switch to the B camera that's facing you on the gun and give this really cool perspective of like moving through the building or something like that. And you jump right to an engagement. You just cut out all of the boring stuff. Your viewers, in theory, should be staying on your video. I know we're getting a little bit distracted and derailed going into like how to film a video or how to edit the video, but kind of I want to paint this picture to kind of show you why like 3 cameras are important. And I've noticed over my 2 years of playing, like filming content, I've noticed like that's necessary to keep viewer retention. So like I said, at the end of the video, I will put 3 cameras that I think would be a great way to get started. It's all under 500 bucks. Obviously you don't have the mounts. And speaking of mounts, an honorable mention is going to be from GoPro. This is just basically a bungee that goes around your head, and you can run your GoPro, like if say you're running a beanie or you're running a boonie hat, anything like that, you'll be able to run that on just about any hat. All right, so here are the 3 cameras. We're going to start with the GoPro Hero 9 you can get for $216. The total for all 3 of these cameras out the door is going to be $431.99, and they all have Prime shipping, so they'll be here for the weekend. Just kidding, I don't know when you're even watching this video, but hey, Prime shipping is really nice. So I would start with that GoPro Hero 9. So I'm gonna have that as my POV. Next, we're gonna look at the EK7000. This is a great choice for a budget-friendly 4K camera that you can mount to your gun and have facing back at you. The battery life on these isn't the best, so you're going to have to run a secondary battery probably on your gun somewhere. But just get a clamp like this right here, mount that back. Now the total price that I told you does not include all of the accessories. However, some of these do come with mounting hardware, so you should be able to get going. The HK mount's not expensive. This mount's not expensive, so you're gonna maybe tack on an extra $100 in mounts. So we'll say $531 to get you rocking fully. And the last thing we're gonna talk about is the Runcam, $146 right here. This is the Scope Cam 2 1080p model. Like I said, 4K, I don't see 4K being necessary for the beginner. You don't really have to spend that extra money and get the 4K model. It's just a lot more data and rendering that your computer, if you've got a gaming computer, your computer can handle 4K footage. By all means, go that route. That's great. I'm happy for you. I just don't want to have a giant render farm every time I go and try and do gameplay footage and bring in, 3 cameras. Honestly, that's another thing I should mention to you. When I'm filming 9 times out of 10, I'm not filming in 4K. My gameplay footage is generally 1080p, just so I have enough room for storage, and a lot of these cameras do overheat, so 1, we're playing in the heat, and 2, shooting in 4K with cases, especially if you're running a case on your action camera, it's probably going to overheat, so just keep that in mind. I had a friend take my advice and buy some action cameras. He goes out and starts playing, and he's filming in 4K, he's like, oh, my computer can handle it, I'll be okay. Guess what happened? It overheated like 15 minutes into the game, and he had a terrible time filming stuff, so 1080p is the go-to. I really like shooting in 1080p. If you disagree, let me know down in the comment section. Hey, to each their own, but here in Pennsylvania, it gets really cold, and then it gets really hot, and then it gets really cold again, and we just repeat that cycle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helped, but I mean, I kind of broke down, like I said, the stuff I use, the stuff you could be using, and kind of my thought process into why you have these cameras in these different places. So if you like the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe. My 4-year-old's giving me did you smash the like button?
Yep.
Give chocolate on your face. I'll catch you on the next one.